Okay, what do we got? We got Why You're Paying More for Less Everywhere from Zachary Smigel. I think it's Smigel. I'm not sure. Yeah, let's go.
Welcome to another video about a problem that is driving people absolutely bananas. Today, we're talking about shrinkflation.
If you feel like your favorite products are getting smaller, it's because they are.
Family size, large size.
68, 69.
Bro, he's counting the raisins? I mean, honestly, who would really realize the shrinkflation in raisins? Who's out here counting the raisins or eating the raisins en masse? Everybody I talk to, they hate raisins, dude.
70.
The cookies are shrinking.
Companies are out here gaslighting us.
I'm fed up. You ever go for the last chip in the Dorito bag and suddenly say, whoa?
They're advertising as if, hey, you're going to get this great value.
And it's not true.
It's not fair. It needs to be regulated, and it needs to be regulated now.
This shrinkflation stuff is getting out of control.
Me hate shrinkflation. Me cookies are getting smaller.
Bro, who was in charge of the Sesame Street Cookie Monster Twitter?
Out of control.
Me hate
Me Cookie Monster. Bro, what is this? Oh my god, this is so funny.
shrinkflation. Me cookies are getting smaller.
Shrinkflation.
Shrinkflation.
Politicians are arguing, TikTokers are up in arms, and even the Cookie Monster has issued a statement regarding shrinkflation. Let's report that 71% of Americans.
Way to take the kids out of their immersion, Cookie Monster, and put your political takes on Twitter. Way to ruin the immersion.
Americans have experienced or noticed instances of shrinkflation. And I don't know about you, but I am definitely part of that statistic.
Is this castle? Is this from Oblivion or Skyrim?
Bags of chips seem lighter, toilet paper seems to run out faster, chocolate bars look suspiciously thinner, and so much more. What the heck is going on here? Well, like always, I am determined to find out. Why are products seemingly shrinking? What actually
If only.
is shrinkflation?
If only
How did
I
we
knew.
get here? Who is to blame? What's being done about this? What can consumers do about it? And more. Let's dive in.
It started with bread.
They say size doesn't matter, but history and shrinkflation prove otherwise. The textbook definition of shrinkflation is when companies reduce the size, quantity, or quality of their products while keeping the prices the same. While the news, the internet, and the whole wide world.
Bro. What is this? Less than like 3% of people use this. Why are you putting that symbol up there? Ain't nobody use this. You only interact with this symbol to download this.
Might make it seem like a brand new phenomenon, it's actually far from it. Believe it or not, the concept of shrinkflation dates back to 13th century England. In medieval England, the size of bread was one of the most widely enforced statutes of its time. The law regulated the price, weight, and quality.
Why didn't we maintain that law nowadays? Huh? And what is up with this little bread spatula? Whatever.
Of bread to protect consumers and ensure bakers didn't exploit fluctuating grain prices. Essentially, the principle dictated that a unit loaf of bread would be sold at a constant price to maintain fair access to staple foods even during times of economic hardship. But because of this mandate, when the market price of grain or rye increased, bakers had to reduce the size of their loaves of bread to maintain the regulated price.
Bro, like, wasn't like the whole reason the sandwich was invented was because rich people needed something that they could eat and also use to hold the meat and cheese. That was literally it, because everyone was sick and tired of eating meat and cheese and getting their hands all like greasy in the meat. So they're like, what can we get? Let's cut some bread slices and use the bread slices to make a sandwich so we don't get our hands dirty and greasy. Wasn't that like the main reason the sandwich is what it is?
Early example of shrinkflation driven by economic necessity. Crazy, huh? Over the years, much like in medieval England, society has continued to grapple with producers decreasing product sizes while maintaining the same price in various forms. So why does this suddenly seem like a hot new topic? Well,
Oh, yeah, that is a good question. I'm just gonna spitball it, because more and more people feel, more and more people just feel it, dude. AI is taking everybody's jobs. Robots taking all my jobs. Like, what do you want? Like, yeah. The economy's up. GDP is up. Unemployment is down. So why is everybody complaining about shrinkflation?
Well, for a few reasons. First, back in the 13th century, these were usually small-town bakers just adjusting the size of their bread out of necessity. Now,
I mean, there's also another correlation doesn't equal causation. There's also another correlative bullet point. Not a lot of people are buying houses at the same rate. Why is that? Nobody's buying food anymore. Nobody's buying houses anymore. Nobody's having kids anymore. More and more people are living with their parents still. Why is that? Oh, I don't know. Is it because they're just not making money? Is that it?
it's big, massive companies doing the same thing, and it's up for debate whether they're acting out of necessity or simply...
It's necessity. It's necessity. Don't let anybody try to convince you otherwise. Big business needs to maintain its profit margins. And if that means selling you a smaller bar for the same price, that's what they're going to do. 100%. But nobody's forcing you to buy the smaller candy bar. Nobody's forcing you. You are still choosing to buy that smaller candy bar.
Chasing corporate profits, but we'll cover that later. The second reason this is a hot topic is because of the internet, baby. The internet has brought this issue to the forefront. As society has become more online, we've also become more informed consumers. Subreddits, TikToks, and even entire websites exist.
Oh, top 2%? Oh, shit. Okay, I guess it don't take that much to be in the top 2%. Only 65 people online. Whatever.
Dedicated to outlining instances of companies shrinking product sizes. A couple hundred years ago, you couldn't take pictures of Doritos bags, post them online, and compare sizes. But now you can. And with the rise of modern consumerism, we needed a term to describe this economic phenomenon. Enter shrinkflation. Coined by British economist Pippa Milgram and added to Merriam-Webster's
That was a great word that she made.
Dictionary in 2022, the term is everywhere.
Shrinkflation grows. Cookie Monster takes on shrinkflation. Shrinkflation. Pushback on shrinkflation. The pushback literally just means stop buying the smaller food. If you think the food is getting smaller, stop buying it. Stop eating dick salads. Please. For your own health. They're not good for you.
And so are its effects. From household staples like toilet paper rolls mysteriously losing a few...
Bro, look at this. This was the old one in January. This is the new one in Mars. I think this is January and this is May. Or maybe this is March. March? I think this is March. I'm guessing. 91 grams, 86 grams. Whew. Imperceivable to the human eye, only to be revealed on an actual scale. This is crazy, man. Like, look at this. There's no way I'm eyeballing. Oh, you took off like, what is this? 6 grams? Or 5 grams? There's no way I'm telling that. Like, just looking at the pack.
Few sheets to chocolates quietly shredding a square.
Like, look at this. If this was the old one and this is the new one, net weight 4.5 ounces, new net weight 4.3 ounces. They're taking off tenths of ounces. They're taking off grams, guys. But I mean, let's be real. Like, there are so many people that are simply just addicted to candy. I mean, you're still gonna buy this. You just are. I mean, I wish I could say otherwise, but it's just a fact of the matter.
Or two, today's shrinkflation has become a widespread consumer frustration.
Look at this, 44 grams, 50 grams. I'm taking it as this is the old one, and this is the new one. And you know what's funny is like they have has the font been like made smaller too? Or did they simply just maintain the logo size? I'm trying to see, like, they had to have shrunken. I think this one is smaller. This one is smaller. Like, they had to have just maintained, or they literally just shrunk everything.
Frustration. Household paper products have shrunk while their prices have shot up 35%.
Wait, what?
Household paper products have shrunk while their prices have shot up 30%.
Damn. So, what is this? The price of the thing, or no. The size of the thing has gone down, but the price has gone up? Oh my God. Oh. Aghast. I am just simply aghast.
5%. Cleaning supplies, same story. Smaller bottles, but prices up 24.5%. Even canned fruits and veggies are pulling a disappearing act, with
holy shit, even the canned shit. Wait, is there simply just less stuff in the can? Because this is what I think. It's harder to make this shit small immediately. Like natural food, well, understandably, all of this is all like GMO food. Like, you know, this is just all of these like produce items have been, you know, selectively like, what's it called? They are, but they aren't genetically modified, and that they've been selectively hand bred, like seeds wise, to like create the best corn, the best carrot. You know, if you look at like an actual like wild carrot, like 50 years ago, you're not gonna get like this type of thing at all, ever. Baby carrots just simply grow this way because they were just selectively bred like this. So if they want to shrink baby carrots even more, it would probably take way more, like a couple more years to do it that way. But they need an instant like solution to the issue of like canned shit like that. I would say it takes longer to shrink seemingly, or I think it takes longer to like shrink produce items like fruits, vegetables, meats, rice, wheat. But wheat you don't really shrink, you just use less, I think. Beans. So to try to shrink this, it's probably not so much the issue as just simply putting less of it in a can, I would imagine. That's what I would think. But when it comes to processed foods, Oreos, chips, cookies, cakes, candy bars, candy, stuff like that, big old processed foods, it's easier to shrink that shit. You just use less.
Prices climbing 23.7%. Now sure, it's normal for the prices of consumer goods to rise over time.
Wait, what?
Now sure, it's normal for the prices of consumer goods to rise over time.
Bro, you could do an entire book about that sentence. Probably beyond the scope of this video. as it pertains to value and whatnot. Sure, but like, yeah. Let me just keep, Jesus, that's like, whatever.
Generally speaking, inflation drives up the cost of things like raw ingredients and transportation. However, when higher prices are combined with shrinking product sizes, it's becoming increasingly difficult to ignore. And
yeah, who feels that the most? Who feels that? Like, what if we were to put like 3 options? Who feels that the most? Like, you got upper class, middle class, lower class. Who feels that? Probably the middle and the lower class probably feel it the most, because they are the ones that are more likely to live paycheck to paycheck.
On top of all this, topics like shrinkflation and the economy have become deeply politicized. It's harder than ever to sift through the noise and figure out what's really going on as a consumer. That's why media literacy and staying informed are more important than ever, and why I'm excited to partner with Ground News for this video.
What a
today's
segue.
sponsor. Ground News makes news consumption transparent by aggregating thousands of articles from around the world every day and organizing them by story. Whether you're using their app or website,
Bro, how long until you guys think Ground News gets bought by like one side or the other? It's only a matter of time, dude. It's only a matter of time. And you know how I know this phone is fake? The battery's full and there's 4 bars. That's how I know it's fake. That's not a real phone.
It completely changes the way you digest news. You can easily compare how outlets from all sides of the spectrum, left, right, or center, cover the same event. Take the ongoing story about Trump's tariff plan. With Ground News, you can see dozens of articles discussing how tariffs could potentially affect Americans. Interestingly, the majority of the coverage comes from left-leaning outlets. So if you primarily follow middle-of-the-road or conservative news sources, you might have missed this. And on top of all this, Ground News has a feature called the Blind Spot Feed, which highlights stories that are underreported by one side of the political spectrum or the other. This gives you multiple perspectives.
So like, I've actually been on like the Ground News website, and it's like, it's pretty interesting, and it does take a little more like effort to like read and understand like what's going on in the news. It's like a step above the norm, and I think it's fine. I don't really know how popular it is though.
And allows you to make more informed decisions on complex issues.
It was I would imagine it was probably either Ground News or Straight Arrow News. Those are like the 2 main ones that I see being touted around most of the time.
If you're ready to broaden your view of the world and make smarter, more informed decisions, head to ground.news/Zachary or scan the QR code on the screen. You'll get an exclusive 50% discount on Ground News Unlimited Access Vantage plan, bringing the cost down to just under $5 a month.
Nice.
It's the same plan I use, and you know I only recommend brands I trust. A big thank you to Ground News for sponsoring this video. Okay, now back to it. So as consumer goods continue to shrink in size while prices increase or remain the same, frustration among shoppers is reaching an all-time high, leaving many of us asking the same question. Why? Why are companies?
Because money. How is this not news? Or how is this news? They did it because money. All of these people that are running these companies, they would actually die if they didn't maintain their profit margins. Do you know like how difficult it is to live on only $20 million a year? It's damn near impossible, guys. Okay. They need their holiday bonuses of like $30-40 million, whatever it is. They need that. They can't survive.
Companies resorting to this tactic? Well, the answer, as it turns out, is a bit more complicated than it seems. At its core, shrinkflation is a response to economic pressures. Companies have faced rising costs for raw materials, labor, transportation, and more. There's no denying that. So businesses have been scrambling for ways to cope. And that's where things like shrinkflation come into play. Instead of directly raising prices, companies give you less for the same amount of money. And there's psychology behind why they do this. A 2004 Harvard study found
downsizing price increases a greater sensitivity to price than quantity. in consumer markets.
The consumers are
Wait, let me read.
behind why they do this. A 2004 Harvard study.
Let me see. Abstract. As the cost of goods increases, manufacturers routinely pass these costs on to consumers through higher prices. Ooh. A less obvious strategy is to maintain the price, but to reduce the size of the product in many ways. This downsizing should mirror a straight price increase when it comes to consumer behavior. Marketplace and experimental data show this is not the case, that consumers are more sensitive to changes in price than to changes in quantity. All right, so what? Is this what RFK means when we're gonna make America healthy again? Just, you spend the same amount of money, you're just getting less calories. I mean, shit, man. If it works, it works, but maybe it's not like what I would have done. Well, I don't know even what I would do, but shit.
Study found that consumers are more sensitive to price hikes than subtle changes in product size. Yeah. And this makes
so he said the word subtle changes. So how do you think everybody would, let's say you have like a group of people, and like the first group of people, they get the downsized products, and then the second group of people, they have the same size product, but since the product size has been maintained, then the price goes up. Understandably, both groups of people are going to spend money on the product regardless of either the size or quantity change or price change. They want to maintain their core audience of people that buy their products. They want to retain most of them. So they want to choose the option that is going to retain the most people. Because understandably, just because this shrinkflation thing is a thing doesn't mean people are going to react in a negative way, such as refusing to buy a product that is just simply smaller, but the price is maintained. You know, if you were to do that to like any other type of product, people would be like, yo, this isn't what I paid for. I'm going to stop buying your product. It's like, oh, okay. Like this is like an issue I would imagine is only with food.
Makes sense, right? You're more likely to notice if a candy bar jumps from $1 to $1.25.
Yep. And you are less likely to realize there is one less square of paper in toilet paper or paper towel. You are less likely to realize, the 0.2 of an ounce missing, the 124 grams versus the 120 grams. But, however, if we just simply use our brains and realize that the word shrinkflation is a thing and this video is being made, that means people are noticing it. Maybe not the right amount of people, maybe not the majority of people are noticing it. I would like to think so in an ideal world, and then people would simply just stop buying those products. But that's not going to happen. People are still going to buy the smaller products.
Than if it quietly shrinks by 10%. Well, companies realized this and took the ball and ran with it.
Yeah.
And ran, and ran, and ran.
Oh, Jesus.
Take a look at this. Typically, when rising costs for raw materials, labor, and transportation squeeze corporate margins, we expect those margins to shrink, something we've observed consistently over the past 30 years. But in recent years, when these costs rose...
What am I looking at? Unit profit margins. Oh, unit profit margins. Oh, this is still going up. Look at the whole trend. The whole trend is just fucking up. Okay, unit non-labor costs. Look at the trend. It's all going up. There's like a little dip here in 2020. Boy, oh geez, I wonder why. Yep. And unit non-labor cost is the blue line. And unit labor cost. Oh, that one is just up. So this one goes up by a shit ton, and it's over double of these ones. Huh.
Something surprising happened. Corporate margins shot up, way up. So despite higher costs, companies have record high profits. Why? Well, this is highly up for debate.
Because the products are getting record levels of smaller. That's why.
Many are accusing some of the world's biggest companies of what's being dubbed greedflation, or
I never heard that one before. This is a new one. Thank you for making this video. I am so much more informed now. Greedflation. More people are being greedy? Oh, that's been around since the beginning of humans. Ah, that's something I can relate to.
extreme profiteering. They argue that corporations, particularly in developed economies like the US and UK, have used rising raw material costs, inflation, the war in Ukraine, and other global events as convenient excuses to raise prices while expanding profit margins to unprecedented levels.
I would need to hear these arguments because there have got to be like so many levels of hoop jumping and logicaling and justifying to justify a smaller candy bar. I need to hear these arguments.
And there are studies, data points, and experts who back this claim. In 2023, the largest review to date on greedflation examined 1,300 companies across 4 continents. It concluded that while supply chain bottlenecks and the war in Ukraine contributed to price hikes, companies' profits surged at a much faster rate than costs.
Wait, let me hear that again.
Contributed to price hikes.
Wait, no, I didn't go far back for that.
Inflation examined 1,300 companies across 4 continents. It concluded that while supply chain bottlenecks and the war in Ukraine contributed to price hikes, companies' profits surged at a much faster rate than costs. In fact, profits for companies.
Why is that? Why?
In major economies like the US, UK, Europe, Brazil, and South Africa jumped 30% from 2019 to 2023, vastly outpacing inflation. Additionally, the nonprofit accountable.
I mean, understandably, something else that contributed to the whole uptrend, probably that little thing that happened in 2020. That's probably a real big variable that no one wants to acknowledge, but whatever.
US found that many of the largest general consumer S&P 500 companies have admitted to benefiting from increased prices as their net profits increased year over year. Another study done this past year from the Groundwork,
I mean, at least they admit it.
Collaborative found that despite corporations experiencing rising labor and input costs, they've been able to maintain and even expand their profit margins to levels well above historic norms.
Damn. Big business gonna do the big business thing. Stay in the green. Red bad, green good.
This trend has also alarmed many economists. Albert Edwards, a top veteran strategist with 4 decades in finance.
I mean, there's no laws against staying in the green. If I can do anything that I can to stay in the green, if not excel in it, why would I not?
Called the current levels of corporate greedflation unprecedented and astonishing, adding, quote, "This cannot be ignored, and if this trend..."
Oh, it will be. It'll be ignored. Are you kidding me? You think it's gonna get better?
Doesn't change, we may be looking at the end of capitalism.
Oh, the end of regular capitalism and enter hyper-capitalism. As we enter the world of either cyberpunk or idiocracy. Those are the 2 futures. Just like the movie Idiocracy or hyper-capitalism in cyberpunk.
pretty bold words. That said, with the studies, data points, and bold claims to support these arguments, economists lack a general consensus on inflation, shrinkflation, and greedflation.
Understandably so. This is a very complex topic. I mean, all these economists are probably like in the same ballpark of like information, but there's not enough there's probably not enough bullet points to create a line yet. They're all like probably like meandering around. Oh, this realization was understood. This realization was understood, but we can't really connect the lines yet. The numbers, Mason, what do they say?
In fact, some argue that greedflation isn't real, claiming it's just business as usual. Corporations driven by shareholder interests are inherently greedy. That's not a unique phenomenon. It's simply how the free market and modern economy operates. No matter where you stand on the issue, whether you view shrinkflation as a natural occurrence of inflation, or you believe it's something a little bit more sinister, it's impossible to ignore.
It's probably something more sinister. I mean, that's just my opinion. It is. But they can shrink all the products in the world, but you can't force me to buy them. Much the same way is happening in video games. You can make your video game however you want it. It doesn't matter to me. You can't force me to buy it.
Or its impact either way. Personally, I find myself somewhere in the middle. On one hand, many legitimate businesses have undoubtedly faced rising costs and reduced product sizes out of necessity. On the other hand, it's hard to deny that some corporations have exploited this environment to take advantage of consumers.
Take Kraft Heinz, for example. Kraft Heinz is a billion-dollar business, and it's a company frequently criticized for shrinking.
Ooh, look at all those microplastics. Upside down ketchup, microplastics. Oh my god, upside down olive oil, mayo. Oh, microplastic lid, glass bottle. Oh. Plastic lid, glass bottle. I love microplastics.
Product sizes, especially in North America. In Canada, items like salad dressing bottles have shrunk from 475 milliliters to 425 milliliters.
Oh my god, that's more than 10%, isn't it? Shit. Literally imperceivable to the human eye unless you're actually looking for it.
The same goes for Classico tomato sauce, which dropped
oh my god.
475 milliliters to 425 milliliters. The same goes for Classico.
Oh, like, this is kind of funny. You know what Classico should do for their new bottle? What I was going to say is they should probably remove this little dent in the jar to give more of an appearance that the bottle is taller. That's what they should do. You want this little jar to appear as tall as humanly possible and hope that nobody kept the jar from like 4 or 5 years ago only to oh, look at the lid. The lid is like double the size, dude. I didn't even see it until now. 650, 600. But you can't tell this difference. You know why? Because the only thing on the shelf is this size. You have nothing to compare it to. This is hilarious. And the main thing is the lid. It just gives it away. You got this piece of shit that's hard to grip onto. You got this thing that's like nice. It's got little indents and ridges. It's nice. It's easy. I don't got to get my little jar opener. Just can't open the dang thing.
Tomato sauce was dropped from 650 milliliters to 600.
Yeah, that's more than 10%, buddy.
Milliliters. In the US, Kraft Heinz seems to be shrinking fewer products outright, but they're engaging in something arguably more deceptive. Kraft is altering ingredients and removing items from products.
Oh, wait.
Dropped from 650 milliliters to 600 milliliters. In the US, Kraft Heinz seems to be shrinking fewer products outright, but they're engaging in something arguably more deceptive. Kraft is altering ingredients and
Ooh. Okay, so they're altering the ingredients of the thing Okay, number one brands changing ingredients. Number one in the U.S. ketchup, Heinz, tomato. Oh shit, glass bottle. Then 4 ingredients: fully ripened Heinz tomatoes, cane sugar, pickle vinegar. What, bro? Like, when was this? Like 50 years ago? I don't see no high fructose corn syrup in this shit. Plastic glass bottle, bro. Ideally, this should be the comparison, but ever since I've been around, and I'm 35, I have only seen either this upside down bottle or like the other one where it's like got the skinny top and like the big chunky bottom. I've only seen those 2 types of bottles. So to me, my entire life has been plastic bottles. I wasn't there for the glass bottle. Plastic. Oh, everybody knows the good old microplastics go great with ketchup. Tomato concentrate, vinegar, high fructose corn syrup. It's not enough. Salt, spice. Wow, they can't even tell you the real fucking ingredients. Spice. Does it come off the spice tree? Or wait, no, that's from Star Wars. The spice. These guys smuggled spice? That's illegal. Onion powder. Oh, natural flavoring. Does that come off the natural flavoring tree? Freshly picked natural flavoring. What a fucking joke our food system is, dude. It's actually embarrassing. Like, our entire food system and what is actually allowed to be said and told and portrayed on these labels is so fucking embarrassing, dude. Are you kidding me?
Removing items from products, a practice some refer to as skimpflation. For instance,
Skimpflation. Skimp? Like you're skimping out on something? Like you're like pulling a little bit off the top? Or like, oh, don't be skimpy.
Since Kraft owns Lunchables, and over the years,
What? That's not Mr. Beast and Jake Paul and MSI? Or, no, not MSI. KSI. This isn't Lunchly.
protein in their pizza kits have quietly dropped from 16 grams to just 14 grams.
Ooh, the kids, they ain't getting the proteins anymore from the little pepperonis. God dang it. No wonder kids are fat. They're not getting enough proteins. I knew it. It's all Lunchables' fault. I mean, understandably, like a lot, like when I was eating as a little kid, I was kind of jealous of all the other kids when they had Lunchables and I didn't, and I was always complaining to my mom, "Oh, I want to eat a Lunchable because all the other cool kids have them and I don't." Because like when you're a little kid, a Lunchable is like massive, but you know, only as an adult do you quickly realize how small a Lunchable is. And it's actually not that great for a child to be eating a Lunchable. Dang, bro, kids suck. Because I'm thinking how much of a spoiled little brat I was and how picky of an eater I was compared to like now. Damn.
Now, the reason many point out Kraft as a company that's potentially exploited this environment to take advantage of consumers is because they are market leaders. They're one of the largest food and beverage companies globally.
Oh, dang. So Heinz owns all of this. Kraft owns all of this. Let me see. Kraft planners. Ooh, stovetop. Ooh, stuffing. Miracle Whip, Kraft, Jet Puffed. Cool Whip. Cheese Whiz, Free Sun, Country Time Lemonade, Cracker Barrel. Okay. Clausen. Okay, Heinz. Looking. I'm just looking. TGI Fridays. Heinz owns TGI Fridays. Huh. That's kind of funny. Did not know that. Okay.
Globally, with annual revenue in the tens of billions of dollars.
Oh, billions in revenue? But that's not revenue per employee. Ooh, 700,000. Ooh.
To put it simply, they're not hurting for money, and across their wide range of products, they've quietly downsized portions or altered product ingredients.
These people have to maintain their 700K. Okay, if it goes down, they die. Okay, less money equal you die.
Leaving customers paying the same for less. But you know what's crazy and really makes you think?
How much you think that any of those employees actually buy their own products and eat and consume their own products? That's what I think. Like, come on, guys. Are you really buying your own shit and eating it? I would bet no. That's what I would bet.
Listen to some of these responses companies give when people ask about these changes. Last fall, Tropicana
If I was a company and someone asked me this, I would just plead the fifth. Fuck that. There is no good justification for that shit. There is no, like, give me a good answer. Give me a good answer.
redesigned its classic bottle, removing
new bottle, new fluid ounces. Over here, you got the big old straight bottle full of fluids. This one, you got the cool bottle full of curves, but it's less. Who's gonna notice? 4, 5, 6. Who's gonna notice? What is it? 6 ounces. No one's gonna notice 6 ounces. It's not even a whole serving. 8 ounces is a serving.
6 ounces, and a spokesperson for Tropicana brands.
Wait, what? What was that frame?
6 ounces, and a spokesperson.
Oh, wait. Stop it. Stop it, Zach. Don't make me. No. Shit, what was the frame by frame one? God damn it.
Tropicana redesigned.
Oh, God damn it.
But you know what's crazy and really makes you think? Listen to some of these responses companies give when people ask about these changes. Last fall, Tropicana redesigned its classic bottle, removing 6 ounces, and a spokesperson for
God damn it, Zach.
Last fall, Tropicana redesigned its classic bottle, removing 6 ounces, and a spokesperson for
Okay, how do you... God damn it, you're gonna make me do this. How to go frame by frame in YouTube. Press the comma key or the dot. Okay. Fucking Zach.
its classic bottle, removing 6 ounces, and a spokesperson.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna find it. Give me a sec. We're gonna find it, guys. Oh, Mahomes. Oh. Tropicana fans are ditching the brand after a bottle redesign. Good. Fuck them. How you gonna blame Mahomes for the damn bottle getting smaller? He's a fucking athlete. He just throws footballs. It wasn't his fault. I don't even watch football. The big CEOs or the shareholders didn't ask Mahomes, hey, if we shrink the bottles, we'll give you more money. And then Mahomes was like, yeah, do that. It wasn't his fault. It wasn't up to him. He's just like, yeah, sure, I'll take whatever sponsorship you'll give me. Whatever.
Spokesperson for Tropicana Brands Group told CNN that the change was made to address customer feedback, claiming
what a fucking scam, a lie, misinformation.
The new bottle makes the orange juice easier to pour.
Are you kidding me? What's the... We're gonna do this. Tropicana old bottle. Tropicana new bottle. Images. Images. It's the old one. Old new. Okay. Open a link, open image. Okay. It makes the OJ easier to pour. Okay. Why couldn't you just reshape this bottle to look like that and maintain the same fluid level? You fucking retards. And if that's the case, why is the cap like 5 times the plastic? Why is there 5 times the plastic in the fucking cap? What? Because you think someone's gonna like weigh it and be like, oh, they weigh the same. They can't possibly be a difference in like fluid in the bottle when they weigh the same. I'm a retard and I can see this cap is about 4, 5, 6 times the weight as this one. Are you retarded?
Heinz said something equally ridiculous last spring with their beans. They reduced the amount in a 415 grand tin from 51%.
Oh, navy beans 51. Navy beans 59. 2% less beans.
To 50% beans. And
see, this is what I said. It's harder to shrink the actual produce food size because that takes like years and years of like selective breeding and like, ooh, smaller food. We got smaller food. Just put less of it in there. They won't notice.
Stated the reasoning was to make it taste better.
What?
415 grand tin from 51% to 50% beans, and stated the reasoning.
Heinz explains shrinkflation in iconic product after Aussies call out stealth act ripping off customers. Heinz said any confusion was the result of a recipe change. Wow. See, I told you there was no good excuse. There was an excuse, and it's like they what they do. They probably put a blindfold on and like had like a gigantic wall-sized dartboard, and they're like, throw a dart. Bang. We'll use that excuse. Ah. That's what they did.
Was to make it taste better.
What an I don't think ChatGPT could have come up with a worse excuse than that. To taste when you got less food, it tastes better. Duh. That's common sense.
A few years ago, General Mills cut the size of its family-size cereal boxes from
ooh, the family size. Oh, that's a whole ounce and then some less. That's 1.2 ounces less. Ooh.
19.3 ounces to 18.1 ounces. When asked about this,
don't you just love the fact that every phone has a camera and you can preserve these pictures to keep the big companies, I would say, honest, but they don't even give a shit about being honest. Honest is not like one of the things that they're being like that they're concerned about. They're just doing it straight up in public, and they're like, yeah, we don't care. Yeah, the food tastes better when you have less.
By NPR, they claimed this change allows for more efficient truck loading, which is important in both.
As a consumer, I don't give a shit how efficient it is to load the damn truck. That's not my problem. That's your problem. Don't offload your problems onto me, the consumer.
Both reducing global emissions and offsetting increased costs associated with inflation. Here's one of my personal favorites, though. A few years ago, when a spokesperson for Charmin was confronted by reporters.
Oh, why everything from tuna cans to toilet paper is shrinking. But prices aren't?
From WBUR about shrinking the size of their toilet paper squares, they suggested it was a result of, quote, innovations that allow customers essentially to wipe more efficiently.
Can you explain that? Can I get a demo of that? Please, Mr. Spokesperson, can you demo that? I'll even give you some dignity. Can you like show me on like a silicone dummy or something how either smaller or less is more efficient? because from my understanding, um, toilet paper isn't completely uncommon in everywhere else in the world, but I do believe a good chunk of people in other parts of the world, they use bidets. Like, I think it's more common to use like toilet paper in the rest of the world than it is to like bidets. Like, you can still use toilet paper if you have a bidet. You just simply, you're not wiping shit off your ass. You're essentially just using the bidet and then patting everything down. Can you tell me how less is more efficient? Please, Mr. Spokesperson.
I mean, seriously, how dumb do these corporations think we are? Wipe more efficiently?
Really? They think we're really stupid. The corporations don't give a shit about you. They think you're really dumb and will accept that as an answer.
What a joke. If a company is generally facing supply chain bottlenecks or higher input costs, just be honest about it. Stop pretending like you were doing this because of the environment or some random new...
Yeah, you're a business. You don't give a shit about the environment. It's not a prerequisite for me as a consumer to morally justify the purchase of every single solitary product. Motherfucker, everybody has a cell phone that has cobalt in it, mined from cobalt mines in, where was it, Africa or whatever? Everybody has clothes that are made in China that are made from like 4-year-olds. Don't give a shit. Don't moralize me with morality and think that that's a good justification. Shut up.
Toilet paper innovation. And I think that's what makes all of this so frustrating. The lack of transparency and the disconnect between businesses and consumers. In today's world, image is everything. When you're shoving ads down our face and acting like you suddenly discovered a new way humans can wipe their butt, plus increase your pricing.
A new way to wipe my butt. And also, isn't this about the same level of CGI that I've seen these like little Charmin bears for like the last, I don't know, 15, 20 years? Whenever these bears first came out, they were about this same level of like CGI. Why hasn't this stuff gotten like any better? Understandably, they're supposed to look like cartoons and family friendly. Nobody's trying to make these things like photorealistic. That'd be kind of actually hilarious to get like a bear, like a realistic bear wiping its ass. I mean, the result would probably end up looking like something like Cocaine Bear or something.
Plus started giving us less. It's a slap.
And actually, is this like worse animation than what I've seen? Like, this animation is so bad.
Slap in the face. But that's just the business perspective. You'd think there'd be some laws to protect consumers.
Yep, 300, 275
against things like shrink.
What was this?
But that's just the business
perspective. Wait a sec, I saw something.
You'd think there'd be some...
Okay, they're not really... Wait, look what they... Wait. 13.5, 12.5. Look what they're doing. Look what they did right here! Okay, maybe this is like an accent of the person. Like, how they're positioned. Like, this one is like a little bit forward and this one is a little bit back. So maybe the person taking the photo was trying to be like a little shisty. But look at this. Yeah, you come up with a whole new graphic, whatever. You move the label up a little bit. But look what they did with the lid, dude. Remember, this one has more. This one has less. Look what they did with the lid. This lid, is this lid taller? This fucking person, god damn it, like I understand, but like you shove the damn one with the less up in front. So you're being like kind of shady and like your photo taking skills. Feel it work. The lid looks so much like more monstrous. If you shrink your shit in a bottle, are you just supposed to make the lid like massive? That's the meta. Make the big lid. Jesus.
Laws to protect.
And what was this? Okay, so this is the old one, 300 ml, 275. This one has more. This one has more. 25 ml extra. This is just straight up false advertising. Fuck WD-40. Actual losers. What are you guys doing? Does somebody not know how to fucking math? Why do I need a fucking bachelor or a master degree to apply for any job? You guys can't even do simple addition. Simple math. What?
Consumers against things like shrinkflation.
Well, okay, let me see the product. Where's the mess up here on this one? Family size. Oh, I feel like I'm being brought back into remember those like I Spy books or whatever, or those little things in the comics of like, there's two pictures, but like they're slightly drawn different, and there's like 6 things that are different. You have to find them all. That's what I feel like I'm doing when people are like posting these up. Okay, so you got calories, 250, total sugars. Okay, that's all the same. Net weight. Okay, net weight on this one, 16.9, almost 17. Net weight on this one, 15.6. Okay, so they took a little bit more than an ounce out of it, and still family size, still same price. Damn. And these guys did they make the logo bigger on this one? Is the box bigger? They took less cereal out and made the box bigger. So don't come at me with we're being more efficient with our products. Okay, here's what I think is happening. The cereal costs more than cardboard. That's what I think. So I'm like misunderstanding. But these guys are being absolutely fucking retarded and simply trying to pull one over you, making the box bigger but giving you less shit inside. Like, look. Taller box, less amount.
And deceptive marketing practices, right? Well, some countries like Brazil, France, and South Korea have rolled out rules requiring companies to clearly label or warn consumers about product size or amount changes.
Not over here in good old America. Fuck that. That's why we got lobbyists, so we don't have to tell people that the products are smaller. We just make them smaller and give no warning.
In France earlier this year, they announced
that's why everybody wants to come to America. Is less regulation. I don't get this little label whenever I go into Walmart. I mean, shit, I don't even see those little. Remember, like 15, 20 years ago, there were those little coupon things, like buy one get ones and whatnot. It was like a red little box that just stuck out, and like you could take the thing, and it would be like zzz, and put out like another one. I don't see those anymore. Companies aren't trying to have you indulge in a little buy one get one or a little 10-20% off, because when you take that little 20% off, that's their profit margin you're taking.
A decree requiring retailers to signal to consumers when a food or consumer product has undergone shrinkflation, an attempt to bring awareness to the issue. In South Korea, food manufacturers and suppliers can even face fines of up to $7,300 if they fail to notify buyers of size reduction.
Okay, the reason that law sucks and is stupid is because the fine size is so small, and it's nothing. That would do nothing. That's not a fine. That's a cost to not tell your customers that there was shrinkflation. All right? Whenever you make a shitload of units and then shrink them, the amount of money that you're going to make when you maintain your profit margins is going to be so much more. Like when it comes to like audit you as like a product maker for whatever food, $7,300 or whatever, to not tell the customers, oh, this product underwent some shrinkflation. That's nothing. That is not even grains of sand in the sandbox for these companies. That's like dead skin cells off my fucking hand. It's that small. Are you kidding me?
It's too early to tell if these changes have made a significant impact, but they seem like steps in the right direction. Here in America, however, the legality of shrinkflation is harder to pin down. In the US, non-functional slack fill is prohibited unless it serves an appropriate purpose. Slack fill is legally defined as the difference between the actual capacity of a container and the volume of product inside. So when you open a bag of chips and find mostly air, that could be categorized as non-functional slack fill. And believe it or not, it's illegal. However,
it's illegal. However, let me hear this.
Proving what constitutes non-functional slack fill is...
Oh, we gotta prove what is non-functional. Let me guess. Something to do with it's easier to transport, so there is a function. Bro, I am just waiting for these guys to put their hand in a vat and just scoop like a single handful of chips out, and have the rest of the bag be air, and fill the bag with air, vacuum seal that shit, and be like, oh, no crumbs. That would be the next form of advertisement. A full chip in every last box, no crumbs, no broken chips. That's going to be the next form of advertisement for having so much non-functional slack fill. That would be the next little advertisement point. No crumbs, every chip unbroken.
Is challenging, as many companies argue that the empty space...
Oh, here we go. Something to do with transportation. Listen.
...is necessary. Plus, in the US, producers are...
Why, Zach?
Required to already indicate the amount of volume, weight, or quantity of their product.
Or if you drop the bag, the force gets transferred into the bag, and less chips get broken if you drop the bag.
On their packaging labels. As a result, many instances of shrinkflation, such as slack fill, aren't currently viewed as fraud or misrepresentation.
Wow. What a time. And let me see. Let me go back. What was this image? Okay, where are we at? Okay, whatever. Bro, most bags are 50% air. I mean, understandably, who would want to buy a bag of chips that's vacuum sealed? I'm just wondering and thinking what chips are going to be like in the future. Are they still going to be about the same, 50% air? Everyone's still eating a big old bag of dicks.
And as I mentioned earlier, shrinkflation has become such a big issue here in the States, it has officially entered the political ring. Pennsylvania Senator Bob Casey recently launched a campaign and introduced a bill. Yes, an actual bill called the Shrinkflation Prevention Act of 2024. The legislation aims to give the FTC the authority to investigate and crack down on shady corporate practices like price gouging and deceptive product downsizing.
In a vacuum, that sounds like a good law or a good bill by itself, but I would probably have to see the actual details of it. In theory, it could work, but most likely is not going to.
While the intention is noble, not everyone is on board. Critics argue that without...
Of course. All the big businesses are against this.
Shrinkflation, prices would simply rise outright, making everyday products unaffordable for many. They point out, at least with shrinkflation, people can still buy these items, even if they're getting less for their money. Then there are centrists who argue that businesses should be allowed to increase prices as they see fit, but if they do, it needs to be clear and obvious to the consumer. Ban these deceptive practices and...
Ooh, that's one of the key points. Making it obvious to the consumer. Oh, it's not obvious. You can't read this tiny little font size at the bottom of the label. That's not obvious enough for you? Huh. You're just stupid.
actually enforce the law as it's written. As I mentioned earlier, there are already some fragments of laws that could apply to these situations, but there's a big difference between having laws on the books and actually enforcing them. Personally, I do think legislation like this could help, but if there's one thing I learned, it's that waiting for the government to save the day usually
that's not gonna happen.
Doesn't work. Real change tends to come from us, the everyday people. When
Real change would happen super fucking quick if people just stopped buying the shrinkflation products. But as we know, people can't help themselves. I feel like eating a candy bar. I feel like McDonald's today. I feel like eating this today. I feel like chips. I feel like this. I feel like that. I eat with my feelings. I'm addicted. That's how it is.
consumers unite and demand better, companies have no choice but to listen. And that's where public shaming comes into play. I'm serious. Bringing awareness to this issue and voicing your—
Well, public shaming who? The business for being a business, or the consumers for not being able to control themselves for eating such addictive foods? These foods are addictive. They are literally made to be addictive. Everything about them. So who are we publicly shaming? I could easily make the argument to publicly shame both the makers and the consumers.
Your complaints has seemingly worked when it comes to fighting shrinkflation. Take Toblerone, for example, back in 2014.
It's good to hear somebody else say that word. Because in my head, I said it weird every time. It's good to hear someone else say it.
They reduced the weight of their bars by 25% by increasing the gaps between their signature chocolate.
Who the fuck buys this thing in the first place?
Chocolate triangles. People weren't having it, and everyone started complaining about it online. After getting called out, Toblerone actually reversed the change and brought back the original design. Then there's Chipotle, which I exposed in a documentary last spring. As I and many others called out the skimping, Chipotle's CEO eventually admitted they were cutting corners. He promised to fix it, and guess what? It's reported portion sizes started to improve.
What's that one clip that just surfaced like recently? Oh my god, maybe I can find it. Shit. Oh my god. Customer pissed at Chipotle jumps counter. Shit, where was it? Is this one it? Counter? Videos. This just happened 2 weeks ago.
And now to Washington.
Where is it?
On Saturday, he was working his normal shift at the Chipotle in DC's Brentwood neighborhood when a customer attacked him.
This person jumped the counter because they felt the portion size, that they were skimping on the portion size, and just attacked this person. So, hey.
These are perfect examples of how when companies mess with us consumers, loud and collective outrage can actually make a difference.
Yeah, that it can. But the chances of that happening are few and far between. Those are outlier examples for Toblerone and Chipotle. What are the chances that you could get any sort of traction for every other consumer product? Probably not that high.
And I think that's the takeaway. Yeah, we're paying more and getting less, but that doesn't mean we should just roll over and accept it.
No, you shouldn't roll over and accept it. You should stop buying their products. You should. Hurt them where it counts. Hurt them in the pocket, please. That's the only thing they care about. Hurt them in the pocket.
About shrinkflation or any deceptive marketing practices, call it out, post about it online. Follow consumer advocates who are trying to hold these companies accountable. There's a fantastic website run by consumer advocate Edgar Dworsky, who has become the go-to expert on shrinkflation. His site, mouseprint.org, serves as a hub for informed shoppers to track product shrinkage. I highly recommend checking it out along with his socials. And finally, if you can, vote with your wallet. Stop buying brands that are pulling these stunts. I know that's easier said than done, but when companies see sales decline, change seems to happen. If enough people say no, they're forced to listen. So if there's one thing you take away from the video,
Well, what did he say? Go back again.
I know that's easier said than done,
Yeah.
but when companies see sales decline, change seems to happen. If enough people
When companies see sales decline, change seems to happen. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
people say no, they're forced to listen. So if there's one thing you take away from the video, I hope it's that. Don't stay silent. As always, thank you so much for watching. A special thanks to Ground News for sponsoring this video. Click the link down below, check them out. It really helps support the channel. And then of course, a special extra mega thank you to my Patreon supporters. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. I will see you guys and everybody else next time. Bye.
All right. Damn. Bro, that was a goated ass video. Holy. Shrinkflation. That's the name of the game. Who knows which way it's going to go? Is everything going to keep shrinking? Will it ever go back to the way it was? What's the opposite of shrinkflation? Enlargification of everything? I mean, well, we saw what McDonald's did with that. With the Super Size Me and whatnot. I don't know if it's ever going to go back, dude. I honestly don't know. Only time will tell. We're just going by, everyone's flying by the seat of their pants in this shit, dude. But overall, cool video. I love watching these videos. These are goated. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I'll catch you guys on the next one. All right, later.